This is Keith Scott-Mumby, and I want to welcome you to our Slimming and Vitality Club that's based all around the ultimate science of weight loss, the ultimate science of slimming. There is science. You know, the old days, the stories, well, just eat less and you'll lose weight, doesn't really hold up anymore. I worked for a wonderful surgeon. He was a very nice man and a very clever surgeon. His answer was, nobody died fat in Belsen, meaning Belsen concentration camp in Germany. That was a bit unkind, and certainly, although it's true, it had no practical value. But for many years, for decades, the story has been, if you just eat less and exercise more, you'll lose weight. And if you've seen even half of the videos, all the experts I've pulled together, you'll realize that that basically simply is not true. That there are many things that will influence your weight: hormonal factors, your microbiome, genetic factors, environmental factors even, such as pollutants in the environment. We learned from Jeffrey Smith that people who give up GMOs and go to glyphosate-free and pesticide-free foods, they will lose weight, quite a lot of weight, 20 or 30 pounds, without doing anything else. So I want to start by getting rid of this myth that if you eat less and exercise more, it'll all work for you. That's not true. The next thing that's not true is that one diet will work for everybody. If we could just find the perfect diet and everyone was to stick to it, they'd all lose weight, we'd all be happily ever after. Well, I want to tell you 50 years of diet books, well, actually 150 years of dieting books to prove that's not true. There are some more successful than others. And the ones that are very successful do tend to have similarities, low carbohydrate, high fat, no manufactured food. It actually goes back to William Banting in Victorian days. It surfaced again with the Atkins. It's the same kind of principles. So these are very helpful principles. But there are people who follow these different diet plans to the letter and don't lose weight because it's something else. It's not a matter of willpower and they're doing stupid things, they're lazy, they won't get up off their chair. It's really other factors are at play, and that's what we brought to you in this club. You're going to learn what you need to know not just for losing weight. Let's get rid of this idea too, that it's all just about losing weight and then you can go back to eating garbage food and being unhealthy, slobbing out and being a couch potato. What do you think will happen? It's obvious what will happen. You'll just go back to where you were. We don't want that to be. So one of the things that we're talking about here basically is a major lifestyle change. We want to see you doing things differently. And it's very important that you learn to do that. So that's one of the fundamentals. Another fundamental is that really it's not just about how much you eat. I mean, that's a factor. Most people who are overweight are overeating. But it's really more about what you eat. And yes, that's related to how much, because if you're eating the wrong things, then it can trigger all kinds of appetite control mechanisms or override them. You can get addictive mechanisms working. So if you choose the right foods and you know what to eat, then it's very much easier to control how much to eat, because you'll get rid of hunger and cravings and things like that. And it's very important that you learn this skill for life. You know, the old picture of a dieter, is desperately hungry and really exerting 110% willpower to avoid giving in and eating a candy bar or a cookie. That's really a nonsense story from the past, and it really is a reflection of how ignorant things were in those days. We now know that if you eat the right things, you're not going to be hungry at all. You won't get cravings, you'll feel good, and as a matter of fact, you'll be able to control not just your appetite, but how much you eat and when you eat and so on. So what you eat is probably the number one factor, actually, rather than how much you eat. So that's another myth down the drain. Again, if you want something new, let's say this: you've got to change your relationship with food. You've got to change how you think and feel about food. And I do mean change, that you've got to make a life swing change so that you don't go back to craving thick, cheesy pizzas or ice cream, cookies and candies, all of those kind of things. It might seem, if you're in the grip of these things, it will be almost impossible to break your craving, but in fact it isn't. And it's partly to do with state of mind. And when I say state of mind, I do not mean willpower. It is, as I said, a question of how you think and feel about food. Manufacturers, the food industry, they bombard us on television with graphic and gorgeously, supposed gorgeous anyway, images, thick pizzas with stringy cheese and looking gorgeous, or sloppings of Alfredo sauce on your spaghetti, whatever it is they're advertising. They're kind of hypnotizing you in a way. They're wanting to trap you into believing these are the right foods, these are delicious foods. You've got to not let them get to you. You've got to understand when you see sloppy, cheesy Alfredo sauce, you think, oh my God, look at the calories in that. That would make me feel ill for days if I was to eat that. Because trust me, if you were feeling well and been on a good diet for a week and then you ate a spaghetti with Alfredo sauce, you would feel really ill for about a day. That's one of the things we encourage you to do at certain stages anyways, to test your own body's reactions to the food. It's really quite important. Now we need to get down to this. It's very important that you understand this is not a cosmetic issue. This is not getting rid of your muffin tops. This is not feeling, it's not about thinning down so that you can get your favorite bikini on for the beach and swank around. This is for life. We're talking health. We're talking about how long you'll live, which is your lifespan. But in recent years, people have begun talking about health span. So it's not just you live for 80 years, that's great. You live for say 85 years. But if you were sick for the last 30 of those, it's not good, is it? That's no way to live. And mostly we don't like the idea of you taking a pill to kill yourself because life is so horrible. We'd rather you started from this moment taking yourself seriously and taking health seriously. And that's what this Slimming Club is about. It's about fitness and happiness, feeling good, looking good, and being able to perform as you should, so that life is a joy instead of a trudge. Okay, see you on the inside. Thank you.